It is on such a day that we are reminded of the uniqueness of every individual person who comes to us for help, and we extend our hand, actually hands, to theirs, and together embark on a sometimes very frightening journey, but one that is always imbued with hope. So for a number of years, it's been the tradition that the program celebrates its anniversary not only with a grand picnic under a tent, but also when two of the patients have the opportunity to meet their donors, people none of us know or knew, but who selflessly provided the stem cells that allowed us to perform the transplant successfully and return them to their lives, hopefully liberated from the disease that brought them to us in the first place. And as we all know, without such a gift, without such an action, our patients would not be alive, and the lives of their family and their world would be changed forever. The work that we do here is not limited by barriers of border, or age, gender, ethnicity, or how and where they pray. What we do here is transcendent, and is what binds us all to one another in a greater human family. The transplants that we perform for unrelated donors are one of the most complex procedures done in medicine in general and at City of Hope in particular. And they involve the dedication of many people, some of whom I'd like to acknowledge. Of course, it begins with our chairperson, Dr. Eileen Smith, who is here in the front row. She leads our clinical care and research efforts on behalf of all the patients who come to the City of Hope and to our program. Dr. Rio Nakamura is the director of our transplant program. Rio? And Dr. Manzur Al-Malki is the director of the Unrelated Donor Program, who really is at the heart of everything we do in this part of the program. I don't see Manzur. Is he not right here?
Clinic.
He's what? Clinic? Okay. He's showing us up. Okay. All right. Also, Dr. Kede Genzahadze, who leads the laboratory. Where is I saw her. There she is. Okay. That's a laboratory that she leads that does the DNA typing to identify the best donor for a patient, and together with our research coordinators and laboratory staff, they and Dr. Al-Malki meticulously review every patient to find the ideal donor for them. In our unique culture of the City of Hope, they are our matchmakers. They are often here when I get here in the morning, and I get here early, and I see them here when I leave at night, and it's late, you know? But they know what's at stake, and that's the reason they're here. There are thousands of people at City of Hope who in their own unique way contribute to the success of every single transplant. And of course, in this institution, we use science to develop ideas to improve the cure rate for everyone who comes to us, not just yesterday or today, but importantly, tomorrow. At this institution, we believe that it is our moral obligation to care for those at the dawn of life, namely our children, and those who might be entering the twilight of life, namely those who are older. And both patients today who meet their donors are evidence of that commitment. When I began my work here a long time ago, we hardly ever did a transplant in somebody over the age of 30. And so, based on the work that Dr. Nakamura has done and Dr. Al-Malki, we don't have an age barrier anymore. We are doing transplants in people in their 80s. No barrier. And of course, every transplant patient will tell you about their physicians who are talented, knowledgeable, and understand that care is not on the clock, that hope is not hype. Our physicians and scientists are aided by thousands of nurses, pharmacists, and therapists of all types who with competence and compassion help each patient recover from their disease that threatens their lives wherever they might work in the hospital. Without all of them, we would not be here today. Together, they are indeed, as Dr. Alvarez likes to say, they are our secret sauce that everyone sees and feels here. And on the occasion of our program's anniversary, every nurse at the City of Hope is a transplant nurse. And so I am always thrilled that when we do this every year that our nurses are a huge part of what we do. So we need to The best part of my day in the hospital is the change of shift, where the night nurses are literally by their hands handing over the care of the patient they took care of during the night to the nurse who's coming on during the day. It is, sometimes I just stand back and watch just to see what that looks like, because you can feel it just in the image itself. And it never gets old, and it's not gonna get old. So before that special moment that we eagerly anticipate when our patients meet their donors, I want to acknowledge and thank publicly the CEO of the City of Hope, Mr. Robert Stone, who is here today. I'm not done. To share this moment with us. He has led our effort to expand the magic of what we do here in Duarte to the City of Hope in Irvine, Phoenix, Chicago, and Atlanta, who are now all part of what is the mission of City of Hope, which is not local, it's national. Among his many responsibilities are to preserve the essence of who we are as he, wherever that sign is that has our logo on it, showing a man, a woman, and a child, all touching, all connected to each other. At the end of the day, he is the keeper of the flame. So today is his 27th transplant reunion since he came to the City of Hope, so I would ask him to stand so we can acknowledge him too. And I'd also like to especially acknowledge my friend and colleague, Ms. Kristen Bertel, who is the Director of Philanthropy at City of Hope. So here's the deal. From my perspective, every brick in every building on this campus, every test tube in every laboratory on this campus, every patient who's come to us for care has been made possible by the work that she and her staff do on behalf of all of us, all of our patients across the nation. It's something that only people quite appreciate the hand they have in the start of every new idea in this institution. Probably starts because Kristen and her staff have found a donor to help us get started before the NIH or other foundations get involved. She and her staff who believe in us, and we believe in them. So Kristen, if you could stand. So before our two patients get to meet their donors, I'd like to acknowledge three other special patients who are here because of the COVID pandemic. They could only meet their donors remotely, and those of you who watched the videos that Ian McLeod made for us over the last 3 years saw how they met their donors at a distance. But we figured today, since we're back together for the first time in 5 years, we brought them back and their donors so they could actually meet them in person at this occasion. So please welcome Donna Garish, who's here with her donor Michael Fisher, who came from Germany to LA for the first time. Okay. That's one. Joseph Montañez, who is here. I've known this kid since he was a boy, with his donor Vanessa Flores, who came from New Mexico. Where are they sitting? Hey! And Julian Castaneda, who's here with his donor Johannes Epler, who also came from Germany the first time. So where are they? It's a thrill. So now I'm really pleased to introduce you to my colleague, Dr. Nicola Karras, who is one of our pediatric hematologists and transplant physicians, to share with you the dramatic journey of her own patient, Tammy Wang, and then introduce her to her donor, Jessica Munn, who's a student in Chicago who came here today for this moment. Okay?
Thank you, Dr. Foreman. Tammy Wong and her family came to City of Hope in July of 2019, pretty much straight from LAX. See, her mom had taken then 4-year-old Tammy to a hospital in China where a doctor told them she had acute leukemia. Appropriately nervous, the Wongs came to City of Hope looking to find a cure for their only child. Tammy was diagnosed with Philadelphia chromosome positive ALL, an aggressive and rare childhood cancer. Overwhelmed with this difficult diagnosis and road ahead, Tammy and her family adapted to treatment at City of Hope with the help of our Centers for International Medicine and our stellar pediatrics team at the Children's Cancer Center. Tammy also coped with the help of our toy offerings, mostly Hot Wheels and not Barbies. And we became a second home for Tammy as she braved through the scary side effects of cancer treatment. After 2.5 years, we hoped Tammy was in the clear, but unfortunately her leukemia returned, and it was apparent she would need a bone marrow transplant. The success of a transplant depends on first attaining a deep remission while keeping her healthy. To get her into remission, we used CAR T-cell therapy, as she had proven to struggle with her regular chemotherapy. As this new immune therapy worked, we had success number 1. Next, her family was nervous that there would be no donor for Tammy. Luckily, there was, and Jessica Munn became her lifesaver. You see, she was already familiar with the benefits of bone marrow transplant. She happened to work at an ocular GVHD clinic in Chicago. Her job is actually helping recipients who survived the miracle of bone marrow transplant. Therefore, when she heard an 8-year-old girl needed her marrow, it was an easy decision. This was success number 2. On August 3rd, 2022, Tammy received Jessica's marrow and is engrafted with her stem cells. She's now living life like a regular 9-year-old. This is success number 3. She's in school, and when she comes to clinic, we all cover our elbows because Tammy's favorite trick is tickling everyone's elbows. No place is safe from Tammy the tickler, and she sneaks into workrooms looking for elbows. Even though she is quiet, you can tell that she knows she is safe here, and that with some transplant magic, her cancer journey is behind her. And that is the ultimate measure of success. I am very honored to introduce Tammy and her parents to Jessica Munn.
Thank you, Dr. Kara. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you all for coming. Just to say a few sentences, when I was asked to be a potential donor, it was a decision made without any hesitation. Being involved in a career that specializes in managing the eye health of patients post-bone marrow transplant, I've come to appreciate the value of life and the strength and resilience it requires. All I wanted was for Tammy to have the opportunity to live life to its fullest potential, and my only wish is for her to continue to smile, laugh, and thrive, and also have experiences that help shape her into a wonderful individual.
Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm Tammy's father. 2019. I know my daughter was was diagnosed leukemia. I felt so bad, and but the God told me, no worry, Dr. Karras is coming. So I take Tammy come here, City Hope. So everything is so good, and every doctor, every nurse I met here in the hospital, very dedicated, very professional. I like to say City Hope is the top best hospital in the world. City of Hope, City of Angel. 2 years ago, I know Tammy, I know her leukemia come back. So I felt so bad again. And this time, Dr. Karras told me, no worry, Jessica is coming. So, the transplant very successful. I think Jessica also is an angel sent by God to save Tammy life, save my family. So now there are not enough words to express my deep appreciation, but I still say thank you.
I want to get my elbow tickled. How do I get that? Come on. So today, it is now my honor to introduce you to my patient, Mr. Terry Green, who I first met on March 17th, 2020, when he came to us for help with a new diagnosis of a pretty rare type of leukemia. He is a native Angelino, a graduate of USC, a very successful businessman, but he's also a very caring, thoughtful, generous, and trusting philanthropist. And like his brother and his sister, he is an accomplished musician. Although we knew at some point he would require a transplant, we didn't know exactly when, so our team did what they do. They identified, we did the DNA typing in Ketty's lab, the search staff found a donor, told me that they had it, and then we waited. And we watched. And in late 2021, the disease began to change. It began to accelerate, and we moved into action ready because we've been preparing for that. Grateful for the trust both he and his family placed in us to help him overcome this challenge. It was the research that I mentioned before that Dr. Nakamura did and Dr. Amalki has done that really allowed us to begin caring for people and doing these transplants when people are in their 60s, 70s, and now 80s, which is what the challenge was for Mr. Green. But using that research, he underwent transplant on January 27th, 2022, and I just did his marrow, a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, and it's in remission, and all the DNA in his blood and his marrow is the DNA of his donor. So, he's a guy who's older, but he's got the blood of a 20-year-old. And it shows, I can tell you. Okay. His donor, Noam Baton, is now a 24-year-old college student at Reichman University in Israel and is studying accounting and business management. He donated the cells we needed from Mr. Green actually on January 21st, 2022, a week ahead, and then we transported them here to the City of Hope, where we kept them frozen until we needed them the following week.